Do you feel like food is always center stage when you're celebrating, but you're getting tired of the aftermath of all the extra calories that you are wearing when you always are celebrating with food? Well, you've come to the right place. My name is Dara Thomason, and this is the Quilter's Coach podcast, where I help you learn how to truly live the life you want so that you have all the energy, you have all the clarity, and tap into all of your creativity so that you can spend more time quilting, being creative, and enjoying your life rather than scrolling, feeling frustrated, discouraged, and hiding through unhealthy patterns. So life coaching truly is the answer if you want to be that creative genius that you know deep down inside that you are, and I'm here to help you with tools to overcome them. This is episode 213, How to Celebrate Without All the Food. The day this is coming out is actually my 24th wedding anniversary. Happy anniversary to me. 24 years. It's unbelievable. There's a picture of me as a bride, more in love with my husband than I ever thought possible. It's an amazing adventure. And life coaching has made our marriage so much better. I want to help you with celebrating and really looking at the role that food plays. We don't want to vilify food. But before I go into all of that, which I'm really excited to spill the beans and all that, I wanted to share an experience from one of my clients who is in my membership. She has really struggled with her weight for pretty much all her life. There was a lot of challenges growing up around food and the way that her parents use food to control situations, a lot of control around food and power manipulation. There's a lot of internalized struggles with eating what was served, but not really wanting to eat all of that, and expectations that you need to eat more, and then starting to develop unhealthy eating patterns, and how that over time has really been debilitating for her. And so it's been incredible to watch her learning how to advocate for herself, learning how to get herself the help that she needs. So not only is she working with me inside the membership, but she's working with the medical team and different therapists on how to overcome so much of these patterns. One of the things that she said in our call was, she said that she really wants to show up for herself more, because she said, this is what she said, that she's a creative genius and she really wants to tap into that power. She made a goal that she was going to be creative every day. She allowed herself to even thinking about being creative, thinking about a quilt that she wanted to make. But she's also taking a writing course online, and she said that it's unzipping the creativity box in her head. Because she's allowing herself these new opportunities, food it's not occupying as much space in her head, and it's making such a difference. So I'm so happy for her. So there's this concept called habit swapping. It's a habit to use food as a celebration. Now, back in 2018, when I got my first life coach, she challenged me to have no sugar and flour for 6 weeks. It just so happened that was in July, and end of July, and my anniversary, of course, is August 21st. We usually always have our vacation the last 2 weeks of August. We had a road trip. We are going down to my uncle's in Montana. We have all of our traditions of the certain foods that we take with us to the beach and our road trip food. And I thought, ooh, and all the picnics and all the lunches that we pack for the beach. And I wasn't sure how I was going to be able to do that. How would I be able to, even just have vacation food and be on vacation? And it was really interesting to tap into my creativity. And so I was able to think about, I can make cucumber sandwiches, as far as I can actually cut the cucumber and put meat in between them. I could cut more veggies. I can have more hummus. Instead of having the ice cream that I really liked, I could have really nice yogurt and just keep an eye on the sugar content in the yogurt. I can allow myself to have more fruit and enjoy that fruit. I also looked at different healthy food snacks, and also just the idea of why am I even needing this food? So really focusing on hunger, also looking at yummy drinks. So bubbly water is one of my faves. So here I've got this bubbly root beer that's just water, like flavored water. I also recently bought, this is a flavoring. So I've done this hack for myself where I have the essential oils and I have a whole bunch of them. I've got all sorts. I've got lemon, I have grapefruit, I have mint. I have them all. They're delicious. I put those in water. Now, lots of herbal tea. So all of those hacks are great. But you're like, Dara, focus on what you said. You said how to celebrate weddings, anniversaries, birthday. Okay, so this is what happened. I'm at our anniversary, Montana. So there's a smoked meat place. The server came and said, oh, it's your anniversary. We have these homemade pies. I'm like, yes, I'll take one. It was fascinating. Here we are sitting, having this lovely meal. And I'm 4 weeks in. I had to ask myself, what would I rather? Would I rather honor the goal that I made for myself? Or would I rather have this momentary hit of sugar, flour? What would I rather? I still remember this. I looked at my husband and I was like, I'm going to enjoy watching you eat this pie. And I remember just being able to look at myself in a new way and have a new level of respect. That I was able to say to myself, I made a commitment for 6 weeks that I would do this. And I am being, like my client, being like a super creative genius and looking at all these different ways that I can honor myself. Would it have hurt? Is food like the enemy? Would have made it the worst ever if I had even one bite of that pie? Absolutely not. It'd have been totally fine. But the fact was, I made a decision that I wasn't going to eat that the day before and that day, and I stuck to it. Did we have lots of other connections and have a lot of other fun? Absolutely. We had dinner together. We had fun together. We reminisced. We truly connected. That's what it's all about. So when we have anniversaries and birthdays and weddings and all of these monumental kind of events, food is just one way for us to show love, connection, but there are so many more. I'm going to give you some ideas. So one of the things that we do in the olden days, I call them, we would go on a date and then we would go to Dairy Queen or we'd go to the dollar store and we'd buy a treat. Or sometimes we'd even go to the grocery store and get a special treat, ice cream or something, and then come home and we would talk, we would read. We read lots of books together. And then we'd go to the beach or we would go up on the mountain. One time we had to water one of his coworkers' gardens, and they have a really nice back patio. So we just sat and ordered sushi and ate it out there and just enjoyed each other. And we realized we actually don't need the ice cream to enjoy our time together. We don't need the chocolate bar. We don't need that extra treat, because what we're really enjoying is just being together. And so we have done that more and more, where we will go on walks, we will go on drives, we will go to the beach, and and one of the things that I do is I have conversation ideas in my head before we go. What are the ways that I can connect with him? Now, so you can make this however you want. Maybe you have special places that you go. It's like we have special foods that we eat at Christmas or anniversaries. Maybe there's only special places you go on dates. Maybe there's certain hikes that you go on. There's a really, really pretty lookout point that's hard to get to where we live. And so it takes you have to have a certain kind of car to get to that. But it's such a beautiful vista to look at. And so it's very special when we go there. I want to just ask you a question before I end this podcast. If a doctor told you that you were not allowed to eat for 3 weeks. Let's say the doctor said, you know what, we have to do this very special test and you can't have any food in your system for 3 weeks. And you have to take this supplement or intravenous, whatever. And it was your anniversary. Would you actually be able to enjoy your anniversary if you couldn't eat what everyone else was eating or what your spouse was eating? Would you be able to enjoy that? And this is the piece that is so important for you to look at different ways. Another way to look at it is I choose not to drink alcohol. And a lot of people are like, what? How do you celebrate the new year? How do you bring in the new year if you're not with a glass of champagne? That has never been my tradition. Never would even think about it, right? So how could I truly celebrate if I never have champagne? So these are the questions that I want you to ask. And my challenge to you is, what is the point of a celebration anyway? It's an acknowledgement, it's a connection, it's a belonging. And I'm just going to finish with this last story. One of my clients, she has been on depression medication. She has been on depression medication for 30 years. She's been working with me for just over 2.5 years, and she has gotten off of her medication. And so it's been an interesting transition for her because she's not used to feeling so much. Because with depression medication, it is a number. It doesn't allow you to go so high or so low. We had a call recently and she was really emotional. We were doing some internal work. I gave the group time to journal, get some journal prompts, and we were talking about how do we connect with ourselves instead of with food. And she was visibly shaken. And so I excused everyone from the call and I said, I'd like you to stay on the call. And so we were talking and I said, what's coming up for you? And she said, I have never really felt like I belonged. I have always felt like I've been alone. When some of her first memories is when she was 4 years old and her sisters said, we don't want her to come. Her brothers just ignored her. Her mom was just really busy. She had a big family taking care of the house and food and all those things. And so she never really learned to belong to herself. So even though she has this adoring husband and she has these great kids, she hasn't learned the skill to be with herself, truly connected. And she's learning to now, which is so awesome. It's so fun. But we have these counterfeits of food. Food feels like a connection, or shopping, or being busy, or overworking, or doing things for everyone else. Those are false connections. They don't truly allow you to belong to you. A celebration, we don't really need the food. What we really need is the connection. So that is my challenge for you, is to learn how to be with yourself and be in the moment of what's going on. The more that you can do that, the more you do not need the food. You do not need those false connections. I promise you. You are your best investment. And this is my invitation to you. My invitation is to really think about the direction of your life. And if you feel like your life is a treadmill, which means you do the same thing, you wake up on the same side of the bed, you do the same things, and then at the end of the day, you're just going to do the same thing the next day, and then the next day, and then the next day. Although it's predictable, it actually doesn't feel good because it doesn't indicate growth. So if you want to change, you have to learn the tools to go in and to interrupt those treadmill-like patterns so that you can truly change. And inside my membership are all the tools available. My challenge to you is to be honest with yourself and say, what would the quality of my life be if I could learn to interrupt the same old? And this is what you need to do. You need to go, and this is my challenge, and book a curiosity call with me. And what that looks like is saying, Dara, I want to be different. I want to change. I don't know how. I've tried this. I've tried that. I've tried this. And I want you to tell me all the things that you have done. And then I will share with you, just like when you come to the doctor and you say all the symptoms, I will say the reason you're having all these symptoms and the reason why you're having this is because of this. I know I can help you. I am an excellent coach. I have the ability to see what's really going on behind all of that. And when you do that, I can promise that you will have such relief that it will be worth the discomfort of going in, clicking on, making a call, and then showing up to the call. I promise you, it'll be worth it. And I know this because not only has it changed my life and my 24 years of being married, my marriage, I never thought my marriage could be this good. Never. And it's because I do the coaching. I'm willing to be uncomfortable. I'm willing to work through my own challenges specifically and work on that. And I want that for you. This is me advocating for you to change. Just like my client who got off of the depression medication after 30 years and is falling in love back with her husband and back with her life, that she actually never really felt that love and that connection. What would it mean for your quality of life if you allowed yourself that opportunity? This is one of the reasons why I have this podcast, because I want you to know that your life is great, but it can be so much more. And the tools that I teach help you to do that. But to actually have true transformation, you need to not just watch the YouTube videos, right? It's like you can watch a YouTube video on how to free motion quilt or how to water ski or how to knit. But unless you actually go and do it, you'll never get there. And this is your invitation. September's around the corner. What would it be like for you to take yourself back to school, to you school, and for you to learn? You're worth it, I promise. You made it to the end, and it tells me something important about you. You're not just looking for another quick fix or magic solution. You're ready to understand the real reason the scale hasn't budged, even when you know exactly what to eat and how to exercise. You're like so many quilters and creatives I work with in my lifetime membership. Creative, intelligent women who are tired of fighting their own minds. You probably tried everything and you're wondering why nothing sticks. Here's the truth. It's not about trying harder. It's about thinking differently. If you're ready to discover what's sabotaging your health goals, join me for my free training, Why Losing Weight After 40 is Harder and What to Do About It. Register in the link below. Your creative and healthy life aren't separate things. They're beautifully stitched together. Let me show you how.